The name of the chapter is Chemical Coordination in Plant for Class 10. This is the second video clipping for the chapter. And today's topic is tropic movement in plants. Before starting today's topic, I want to show you the text part and the diagrams of the last video clipping of photosynthesis, which was hazy. Experiments of photosynthesis. First one, the discharging. Next, iodine test. The experiment to show that chlorophyll is necessary for the photosynthesis. I think the diagrams and the text parts are clear for you all. Next experiment to show the sunlight is necessary for the process. This experiment to show the carbon dioxide is necessary for the photosynthesis. The explanation parts you will get from the last video clipping of the photosynthesis. And this one is to show the oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. Let's start with today's topic, that is tropic movement in plants. You know, the plants can move but they cannot locomote. That means normally they cannot change their places, but by standing in a particular place they can move. That's why the directional growth of a plant organ in response to an external stimulus such as the light, touch or the gravity is called the tropism or tropic movement. This is the definition of tropic movement or the tropism. Now, the stimulus are normally external. It may be light, maybe gravity, maybe water, contact of anything or some specific chemical substances. When the plants grow or move towards the stimulus, then it is called positive tropism. When the plants grow away from the stimulus, they are called negative tropism. Depending on the stimulus, we can divide the tropism or the tropic movement into 5 different parts. Phototropism, when the plants grow towards or away from the light, or when the stimulus is the gravity, is called geotropism. Hydrotropism, when the stimulus is the water. When the plants respond to the contact, then it is called thigmotropism. And last one, when the external stimulus is some chemical, then it is called chemotropism. So 5 different types of tropic movements you will learn. Another type of movement you can see in case of plant, that is the nastic movement. It is not there in your ICSE scope of the syllabus, so we are not mentioning, just name you remember that 2 main types of the movements are there in plant. One is the tropic movement, another one is a nastic movement. The tropic movement is there in your syllabus, so we are explaining here about the tropic movement only. First one is the phototropism, when the stimulus is light, just now I told you. When the plant parts grow towards the light, then it is called positive phototropism. You know, the shoots, leaves, branches, they grow towards the light. That means they are the example of having phototropism. Next, when the movement away from the light, then it is called the negative phototropism. You know, the roots are the good example of the negative phototropism. Now, you have learned in the chemical coordination chapter in the first video clipping that role of different hormones. The auxin is one main hormone which is responsible for the growth. Now, definitely in the phototropism, auxin has a great role. Let me tell you what role the auxin play over here. Let us understand the role of auxin in a bending of a shoot towards the source of light. In such a situation, auxin get accumulated on the dark side of the shoot resulting in rapid cell division of the site. That means they will start to grow, thus causing the bend of the shoot towards the light or towards the source of the light. Question in the form of the give reason may come. The instrument you can see, that is clinostat, where we can rotate a plant with a rotator. Here we are not switching on the clinostat instrument, then the plants will grow up. That means the shoot part will grow up and showing the negative geotropism, and the root parts are growing down showing the positive geotropism. But here we started to rotate the clinostat in a very slow motion. There we cannot, and we keep it continue moving for few days. After few days we cannot see any change of the movement of shoot and not also to the root. That means when it is continuously moving, the plants are root part, they are getting the gravitational force always up and down, and there also the shoot portion also are showing the negative geotropism up and down, so they won't grow towards the up, and the root part they won't grow towards the down, so they won't show any type of the abnormal movement or the abnormal growth. So from this instrument you can show that the shoot part of the plant they are showing negative geotropism, and the root part of the plant they are showing positive geotropism. The third type is the thigmotropism, when the plants respond to the touch stimulus. You can see the tendrils of cascuta in sweet pea, different types of the climbers. The tendrils normally grow where they are getting the touch stimulus. So this type of movement is called thigmotropism. Fourth one is the hydrotropism. Anything relates to water is called hydrotropism. When plant parts, that means the roots are growing towards the water, that means where they get the source of the water, they will grow towards that. So the roots will show the positive hydrotropism, and the shoots will show the negative hydrotropism. They are just similar to the geotropism. The roots are showing positive geotropism as well as positive hydrotropism, and shoot parts they are showing negative geotropism as well as negative hydrotropism. And the last time is the chemotropism. That means some parts of the plant they respond to the external stimuli, that is specific chemicals. The very good example you can see in case of the pollen tube, and the growth of the pollen tube in case of angiosperms and the gymnosperms towards the sugars or the peptones which are secreted from the neck canal cells of the female gametophytes. That's why the pollen tube grow towards the ovule within the ovary. So these are something about the tropic movements of the plant. Let me give some assignment work from this chapter.